Hi everyone, so this video is a get ready with me, kind of a casual chat, kind of get ready with me video. I'm just going to be putting on some makeup, getting ready to film. So not actually getting ready to go anywhere exciting, but I thought I've never done a get ready with me video before, and I don't wear makeup that frequently anymore, mainly just for filming and if I'm going out somewhere special, which doesn't happen often these days. So I thought I'd film it and have a chat with you, give you an update. My setup is very ad hoc at the moment. There's a tiny little desk in front of me. It's actually a C-shaped table that I bought from Kmart for next to my lounge. There's a cardboard box with the mirror balancing on top of it, so if I'm looking down it's because I need to see myself when I put on makeup. I'm not as talented as some people that can use the viewfinder, so apologies, but I thought it would be a good opportunity anyway to just get on here and have a chat whilst doing my makeup. Maybe you're doing your makeup at the same time and it's like we're in the same room together having a conversation. So even if it's just background noise, I thought why not film it, and yeah, I guess it'll give me something to do. A few of the products I'm just trying out again. Some of them I've used and I really like, others I tried and they just didn't quite work properly, but it's probably my skin or just the way I apply it. So I'm going to give it a go. I normally don't wear this much makeup, but I thought, why not? Let's see. So, where to start? First I'm going to use the Tarte, what is it, maracuja oil. I got a sample of this, a sample size, and I don't know how you are supposed to apply it, but I just put a few drops on, particularly in the spots where I get like dry spots on my face, which is sort of around this area. I do get some breakouts, mainly hormonal breakouts. And I'm sure a lot of people do. It's incredibly frustrating, but it could be worse. Actually, on that topic, when I was a teenager, I didn't have much acne at all. It wasn't until I went to university and I was really late teens, so 19, early 20s. So I was 20 because I skipped a year. I deferred and worked full time. But when I went to university, in my early 20s, I started to get really bad acne, like cystic, under the skin, just painful acne. And that's when I discovered Mario Badescu was one of the only things that worked for me. They're still around, I still use them, it's fantastic, but yeah, it was kind of like, oh, why? And now as I'm getting older I still get acne, and mainly on my cheeks and across my chin. Some of them down here get really big, but yeah, it could be worse. It has been a lot worse. It used to be all up my face. I've still got some scars. They have disappeared a lot, which is good, but yeah, it's just an interesting little thing. I don't have any miracle cure, unfortunately. Just you have to find something that works for you or speak to a dermatologist. I'm just using some primer. This is the Benefit Professional primer. Again, a lot of these are just like small sample sizes that came free with other purchases or rewards points that I have and that I used. I'm just going to put a little bit around and then rub it in. But yeah, so I'm getting back into the whole filming and editing kind of a thing where it doesn't feel quite so awkward. Editing the first couple of videos, even though they were the throwback videos, definitely helped just to kind of get back into how to edit and how to use my software. It's not the most basic, straightforward software. I use what it used to be called Sony Vegas, Now I think it's just called Vegas, but I upgraded the version not that long ago in anticipation of trying to get back on to YouTube and film and do all that stuff. So yeah, it's just learning how to use that. I know I don't use it to its full capabilities, but I'm quite simple when it comes to editing. I would like to do some more fancy stuff, but I need to learn. So that's something I can work on. But there we go. So just simple primer. Next, concealer or foundation? That's the question. What do you do? Concealer first or foundation first? I tend to do concealer then foundation, but I don't know if that's right or wrong. So I'm just going to do it that way anyway. See how we go. I'm using the Instant Age Rewind Eraser Dark Circles by Maybelline. This is in the shade Fair. In Australia, I'm not sure if we have as as many shades available as other places do. But I saw that they had different colours. It was a while ago now, but for me it still sounds fairly new. Where they had like the salmon colour and yellow and like colour corrective, which I thought was an interesting idea. But this is just the normal one. Tried and true. I might just apply. I find that this works good on the areas that have maybe a little bit more dryness. I do also have the, is it Shape Tape? Yeah, Shape Tape as well, which is okay, but I have found that with the Shape Tape, gosh, it's like full coverage, isn't it? Which, if that's what you want, then that's, you know, fantastic. It actually looks like there's a lot more when I look at the viewfinder than there is in real life, but this is kind of new to me, talking and doing my makeup at the same time. But yeah, so with the Shape Tape, it's very full coverage, but it also kind of accentuates the fine lines underneath my eyes. And I do try to set my concealer, but I don't know if I just don't do it right, but I find that when I set my concealer, it actually looks worse. So I don't know. Any suggestions? I'm open, so please do let me know. Some days I've got good skin days, other days it just doesn't seem to sit right. So trial and error. See how it goes. So that is, might do a little bit more just here. And cover up some of those red spots. Some of the what are they called? Age spots that you get as you get older. You get sometimes you get like darker pigmentation around the eyes. It's not so bad actually. I did have some which were really, really dark, and they faded out, so that's nice. And I've got some redness just on my nose. I've got like one of those little, the capillaries or things that kind of just get really red. So that should do. And I will use the Shape Tape, but I literally only use a couple of dots, and even then it's just, there's just so much. It's so full coverage. The colour that I use is Fair Beige. I also have, I think, just Fair, and I switch depending on which one I grab. I don't really have any reason or rhyme or reason to which one I choose. And we'll see. So I might just, let's see, even that's going to be a lot. We'll see. Okay. I know it doesn't look like a lot, but I know a lot of people use quite a lot of the product, but I don't know. I find the more that I use, the worse it looks on me. And it could just be my skin. It could just be the fact that obviously I haven't got any fillers or Botox or anything like that. Not that I'm against it. Fillers would actually be interesting. I sometimes hold my cheek just here and push up a little bit to see, because I've got a bit of hollowness just in there, which is fine, it's normal. But I always wonder what it would look like. I am concerned though if I got fillers, because I've got my cheeks, they just raise up so high when I smile that it would make little bumps under my eyes when I smile, if it would move it. Like when I smile, these bits just go nyeh. And so I worry that anything in here would just be like, and so my eyes get smaller as I smile anyway. This one more than this one. Always has. Oh, it just started raining. Really heavy. They're actually predicting a lot of rain for the upcoming weekend. Even flooding and stuff like that. So don't think you guys can hear it. But we'll see. Alright, so it's a bit patchy around there. That's the thing that I find. Just this spot here where it gets red, just things grab onto it and don't want to let go. It just looks a bit weird. Oh well, it is what it is, so that's fine. So that should be okay. Alright, I will use some foundation just because it does even out my skin tone, particularly on camera. At the moment, I don't know how it's going to look after editing. I do have to change the colours sometimes when I edit, but it kind of looks a bit washed out, which could be my lights. I'm still getting used to this whole ring light thing. So yeah, we'll see. But I am going to try the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow again. I think this may have been discontinued, but this one I still found it, so I don't know, maybe it's just getting harder and harder to find. So maybe I shouldn't be trying this, because if I actually end up liking it, then that's going to be a bad thing, which tends to happen. Normally the kinds of things that I like tend to get discontinued. Yeah, that rain is certainly coming down now. I don't know why I put the foundation on the palm of my hand and into a brush. I should have. I don't really have a particular routine when it comes to makeup. I never really did. I know some people do, but I wasn't ever that good at makeup. I'm still not the a pro. It was something that I considered when I was younger, and I think when I was younger, in my early 20s, I used to frequent the MAC Pro store, because back then, I don't think it's the case anymore, but they had the normal stores and then they had the pro stores. And I used to, I made friends with a few of the staff there, and it was something that essentially it was like, if you want a job you can come and work here. But I was better at makeup back then, and it's like anything, I guess. If you don't do it for a while and you don't practice, you can sort of lose the talent. But yeah, it was something that I considered, but I ended up getting into all things finance after that instead, so I took that route, and yeah, started a career. At least back then, that's what I was doing. Certainly different to makeup artist. But it was always something that I did as a hobby and something that I enjoyed even before YouTube existed. There was a forum that I was part of. I think it was called Spectra. Might have been something else, but they used to post photos of makeup looks, and it was kind of like makeup tutorials before pre-YouTube. I mean, some of you weren't around pre-YouTube. So yeah, it was just, yeah, those were the days, weren't they? In real life, this looks okay. On camera, oh my gosh, do I look reflective. At least in the viewfinder, yeah, I look very reflective. So, and glowing certainly, but not in a good way. More of a, I've spent the last 36 years living in a cave without seeing the sun kind of a way. So that's pretty much the base done. That's all I'm going to do for that. And next I will work on my brows, I think. I've got some stuff on my desk over there. I'm just going to use the Benefit Gimme Brow. It's probably the easiest brow product to use. I like it. I don't actually have that many brow hairs. I've always toyed with the idea of getting, was it the tattooing, the feathering done, but just not yet. I'm not there yet. But my brows are very uneven. My whole face, this side of my face, everything, even my ear, my eye, my eyebrow, my ear, it's all lower. That's another thing, Botox. I've been thinking about getting Botox, more so because I find I have a lot of tension. Not necessarily, I mean, a good thing would be that maybe it could help with this wrinkle here, but I find that what is it called, furrowing my brow like this all the time. And if I'm not doing that, I'm raising my eyebrows and kind of pulling that up without even thinking about doing it, because my eyelids tend to droop a little bit, and so just without even thinking, I tend to, instead of letting them like relax like normal, I tend to just sort of lift up, and that's just my forehead. So I get a lot of tension in my forehead and it actually gives me headaches. So I thought it might be something to try one day, at the very least to get some sense of just relief where I'm not constantly like squinting or raising my eyebrows, just because I wouldn't be able to. I think that's the idea, at least anyway, isn't it? That you can't do that because the muscles are paralysed or something. It sounds quite scary, but yeah, I end up giving myself headaches because I have so much tension across my forehead. I don't know if that's normal or if other people do that too, but I am always just like grumpy face. Even when I'm just sitting there relaxing, I can feel the tension. When I get a facial, which is again very rarely, but if I get even a remedial massage, sometimes they will do facial massages, and it surprises me when they do the around the eyes and the thing where they get the fingers and they push out that way. Oh wow, just the release and the relief, it makes me really realise how much tension I hold in that part of my face. That was, yeah, just an interesting discovery. And that's something that I've been thinking about. And obviously it's not cheap, so it would be something that I would need to save up for and go to the right place and do some research. That's one thing with me, is that I wouldn't just be able to go to a place, walk in and say, hey, can you just inject my face with, what is it, some botulism, I don't know what it's called, the Botox, and then there's places where they advertise like US brand and no name brand and German brand. I don't know. Is it the most expensive the better? I don't understand. And then it's, do you get just a plastic surgeon to do it? I mean, yeah, I think it's more risky when you're doing things under the eye, but when you're putting anything in your face, there's risks, so that's something to keep in mind and that I'm considering. But yeah, I wouldn't mind getting rid of that wrinkle. Some days it's not so bad, so I think a lot of it is actually probably to do with dehydrated skin, or just being dehydrated in general. But yeah, it is getting worse. I find that now foundation sort of just sits inside of it. But again, it's because even when I sleep, I there's a product that I saw originally on YouTube, and then, you know, the advertisers are like, oh, you must have wrinkles, let's throw these wrinkle creams and different things at you. But I saw it advertised, what are they called, frownies, where it's like a patch that you stick when you sleep on here. I actually think I understand the idea behind that, because I screw up my face when I sleep and I wake up and I can feel it. It's like all around here. I just see these what, 11s, or that thing there. Huh, probably just made that worse. But I just, yeah, so frownies, they're another thing I've never tried. I've seen them. I know they were all over YouTube years ago. But I would be curious. Have you ever tried them and did they work? Not just necessarily, not just to get rid of wrinkles, but my camera's flashing at me. Why? What's happening? What's going on? So it turns out the memory in my camera was getting full and only had 4 minutes left, so it was flashing at me. Never happened before, so yeah, there we go. Now I have to remember where I was up to. I think I was doing my brows, just fixing them up, talking about my uneven face and Botox. So yeah, that's another thing I was interested in, because my eyebrows, you can kind of see, this one sits quite low, whereas this one sits quite high. With Botox, some people say that it like lifts their brows up. I do wonder, because it's only subtle, and look, most people probably don't notice it, but now you'll notice it that I've pointed it out to you. But I do wonder if they injected it, if it could lift just that little bit, like. Do you ever sit there and just play with your face like that? Like, I wonder, you know, look. Because yeah, you can see this eyelid, this eye is actually a bit more droopy as well than this one. So even if it did, just, I mean, it's not even 3 millimeters, I don't think, but yeah, just I was interested. If you've ever done anything like that and you're happy to share your experience, please let me know how it worked, or if you went in there for that and it didn't work, let me know that too, because I would be interested to see, is that actually a thing or did I just make that up? I'm pretty sure that's a thing. So now I'm going to set my face with an Hourglass, what is it? Veil translucent setting powder. What a difficult name to remember. Not. So I am just going to put that in some of the areas on my face. Almost had a weird smell. For a moment I smelled like nacho cheese Doritos. Yeah, I'm not sure. I got like whiffs of nacho cheese. Maybe it's because I'm hungry. That's, yeah, unusual. I mean, it's not really what you want your makeup to smell like. Or maybe it is, actually. Nacho cheese, food scented makeup. I'll put a little over my eyes. I probably should have done my eyeshadow first, but it's too late for that now. I might do my eyeshadow next, and I don't wear a lot of eyeshadow, but there's two that I'm going to try again today. Oop, I'm dropping everything. Okay, so mainly I go for like neutrals, nudes, and generally the matte or like a cream finish instead of shimmers and glitters, just because the skin on my eyelids is not as plump as it used to be, and sometimes shinier eyeshadows just don't look as good. This is one of the brushes that's in, I actually saw it in one of my throwback videos. I don't know if it's out yet, but it's in one of them, I think, that I purchased. I actually really like them. They're just by Nude by Nature. They probably do not sell them anymore. But they're like the oval brushes that were all the rage way back when. But yeah, I like the denseness of this type of a brush, the oval brush, and it's actually quite easy to use. This one in particular for like setting concealer or just blending things out, even highlighter, just to sort of go along that area underneath here, around here in particular. I just like the way that the brush feels. So if you are ever interested in oval brushes, this is an affordable option if they still make them. If not, the idea behind the oval brush, completely on board with it. I understand, I get it. Alright, so I'm going to start with just the Naked 2 Urban Decay Basics. Again, basic, just really basic stuff. And use their cooler middle brown from here. What is it? Frisk. And mix it with Stark. Because I'm still not that confident with my ability to apply eyeshadow at the moment. I'm just, so I'm going to use Frisk and mix that with Stark, so these two colours here, and apply them towards the crease and down a bit. I'm still using lighter shades because I'm not 100% confident with my ability to apply makeup that looks decent at the moment. And I know that sounds weird coming from somebody who has what is mainly considered a beauty channel on YouTube, but look, we all have our strong points, and I've lost practice. And I've always found it difficult to apply eyeshadow for my eye shape because my eyes, from any given day, depending on if I have a puffy face or if my eyes are just droopy, my face shape slightly changes, and it's just learning to get used to that and apply makeup for that. So I do wonder, are makeup tutorials still a thing? I don't see them very often, at least the people that I follow don't really make them anymore. And I kind of understand because pretty much for the most part, everything's been done before. New products, obviously, I think that might be helpful is if a new product comes out, like a tutorial on how to use the product. But I mean, a nude eye is a nude eye, a smoky eye is a smoky eye, right? There's only so many things you can do. I guess just like a look. Yeah, sure, that might be fun. yeah, you don't really see makeup tutorials that much anymore. Do you still watch makeup tutorials? Is it something that you still find interesting or helpful? I used to mainly play other people's makeup tutorials when I was doing my makeup, just to have some background noise and also to see how products performed, other products, and sometimes genuinely to learn techniques. I think that's a helpful resource. So I kind of just start light and build up. It actually looks a little darker in real life again. Everything on the camera is being washed out by the ring lights. So post-editing, maybe you might see it. What I'll do as well is apply just a small lighter colour in here. So I have to be careful. This is what I was talking about in one of my videos recently. I'm going to zoom you in real nice and close. So with me, I don't know if this is going to focus or not. I've got this weird bit of skin, and I look at other people's photos sometimes, like celebrity photos or just photos of people, and I haven't noticed anybody else that has this skin. So I'm interested. This bit here, this little bit that just kind of, it's like part of my nose, and if I pull that, it disappears. Oh, okay. See, it disappears. Now it's back. And it disappears, and then it's back again. And it's on both sides. It just kind of, it's like this extra skin just in there. I've always had that, and oh, wrong way, too close. I've always had that, and I found that, you know, these people doing their makeup, it looks fantastic, and they're like, I'm just going to do an inner corner highlight, and it looks great. And then I do mine, and I get it on top of that flap of skin, and it just draws attention to it. It's like, oh, look at that weird duck toe flap of skin you've got on your face there. It's not too bad. I just have to make sure I don't put anything on top of it to draw attention to it. But it's always something I found interesting about my face. And look, it really, it's not a big deal. It doesn't bother me that much. It's like, it is what it is, it's my face. But I found it interesting that it doesn't seem to be very common. And so I do wonder how many other people out there have that piece of skin. And it does cast a shadow. So that's another thing with me, is that some people, yeah, it just makes my eyes look different. It's yeah, just an interesting thing. I find stuff like that, face shapes, really quite entertaining or interesting. And the power of makeup, like, seriously, like, the things that people can do to their face and how they change their face. I have never been good at contouring. That's why you won't really see me contouring. I have purchased contouring, and I'm like, maybe cream contouring would be easier. No, it wasn't. It looked as ridiculous as powder contouring on me did. It was creamy. That's a lot of people love cream products, but again, maybe it's a user error thing, but I just can't get them to blend properly. So I tend to stick with powders, which is probably not that great for my skin. You know, as sometimes the more powders I use on my face, the more crepey. It's a horrible description, isn't it? Crepey my skin looks, particularly when it's really dry. And I have very much combination skin. It can go from really oily to really dry. Or it's like oily and dehydrated. It's fun. So I do want to use a little bit of shimmer, mainly just towards the center, and I thought that some of these colours looked pretty. It's part of the Colourpop Baby Got Peach palette. And I think I'm going to use Glaze It. It's like this, it's like old school, you see it? This one here, oops, move my mirror. So amateur. So I will just apply that. I think this is going to have a lot of fallout. I can kind of tell. And don't blow on your brush. It's not a good habit to have. Just tap off the exit. Yeah, there's fallout. Hello. And not the video game kind of fallout. The eyeshadow kind, which is what you don't want. It is not entertaining. It is not fun. And I really don't want to do my under eye concealer again. So maybe it's just a highlight. It's like a peachy colour highlight. Let's go with that, shall we? No, it's fine. It'll come off. It's actually not that bad. I do like this colour. Knowing Colourpop, it's probably no longer available. But knowing Colourpop, there's probably one exactly like it. So, alright. And there is another lighter shimmery shade called Ready or Yacht, just on the bottom. I might put a little bit of that towards the inner core. Oh, I made a mess. Whoops. Whoopsie. Well, that didn't go as planned. If you hear any weird noises, my dogs are actually laying in their little beds down there. Hey, Lockie. Hey. Papa. It's just, yeah, making some noise. I might actually use this little tiny brush. I really do still like the Real Techniques brushes. Might drag a little bit of that colour just underneath. I don't always, the faces you make when you put on mascara and eyeliner and eyeshadow, I find them entertaining. That or the yeah. Yeah, so when I put eyeshadow underneath my eyes, I find that it helps to actually cover some of my under eye wrinkles. As long as it's strategically placed, I don't think it looks bad. I actually quite like how it looks. I don't know if you've ever heard that noise, but there was a Willy Wagtail. He sits on my back fence and just sings to himself. And sometimes he sits on my side fence and sings to himself. And normally they sing, I'm pretty sure, to what they think is a full moon, but he's been doing it a lot lately. I think he sings to his reflection as well, because we've got some tinting on the window, just some stick-up static tinting, because the sun comes in quite a lot. And I don't know if it forms like a mirror effect and he thinks it's like a little bird friend or something, but the Willy Wagtails, they have quite a pretty call. It's like beep, 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 beep. I can't do it. But if you Google or search here on YouTube, Willy Wagtail call, it's quite pretty. Next is mascara. That way I can actually look like my eyes are a bit more opened. So I will curl my eyelashes. I do need to get my eyelashes tinted because my eyelashes, they're not short, but they're not like curly like this. They're kind of, if that was my eyeball, these were my eyelashes, they sort of sit kind of like that. They don't have much of a curl. They don't hold curl very well either. But, you know, again, no big deal. It's just when I find, when I've got my eyelashes tinted, they look so much longer. And I did get my eyelashes permed. I've had it done twice now. The first time was okay. It lasted a while. For the first little while, it was great. It was fine. But then, I don't know, my eyelashes just started to fall out. But I've got really sensitive eyelashes. I lose a lot of eyelashes. Actually, I lose a lot of hair. The amount of hair that comes out when I wash is crazy insane. But don't worry, I've spoken to my doctor. It is actually something that can happen with Hashimoto's as well. It's not a huge amount, like not like clumps falling out of my hair. I just lose a lot of hair, and you know, let's be honest, some of it's to do with breakage. I don't like to wear my hair down because I hate things being behind my ears, like headbands or sunglasses or glasses, like anything that has to tuck behind my ears. Oh, it drives me insane. So I hate having my hair down. And if I do have my hair down, I generally have to pull back just these bits that would sit here because oh. So I'm going to apply the mascara. This one is a sample that I received of the Urban Decay Perversion. And I don't know if it's got the same brush in the small size, but I've used it once before. And I actually quite like this formula. And I don't mind the brush either. I don't like it when my eyelashes clump together. I like my eyelashes to look completely separated from each other. So generally when I go for mascaras, I will look for things that say lengthening. Anything that says normally thickening, volume, those types of things, plumping, I will stay away from because they tend to give me like a really spidery look, and I don't think that suits me, and it's not the look that I go for. For some people it works. For me, I don't think so. So as separated as they can be. You gotta keep them separated. Oops. It's an Offspring song. There'd be people out there watching now that have no idea who the Offspring were. I've actually, here's another thing we can talk about. Spotify. Last year, discovered Spotify. My husband loves it. I just was still listening to MP3s. So yeah, that's the thing. I discovered Spotify. I actually quite enjoy it. There are some things that I can't find on there, some obscure stuff, but I still own some CDs. So I just rip the songs off the CDs and play them through MP3s. Some of you may not have any idea what any of that means, because you may have never owned a CD, but I still do, and I still listen to them. And I realised at Christmas time that I can play CDs on my DVD player or my Blu-ray player. And yes, I still own a Blu-ray player. And Blu-rays. Oh, my first job. I worked in a video store. That was my first job out of when I was in high school, actually. I started that job. Oh, is that focusing? So, videos, DVDs, Blu-rays. My first job when I was in high school still was actually at a video store. I used to work at a video store. And I remember like I worked at a video store when VHS or videos were a thing. And I'm just getting a Q-tip, like what are they called? This thing, ear cleaner, Q-tip. But yeah, I started working there when I was 14. So as soon as I could, I got a job. Oh, that came off easy. So yeah, I started working there, and I worked there all the way through my, what is considered the senior years of high school, so up until I was 18, and then I left that job. But yeah, I remember them saying, you know, VHS, it's great, and then Blu-ray, then DVDs came out, and they're like, DVDs, the technology of the future, and then Blu-rays, and now you can't even find a video store around here anyway. There's not, they all closed down, so it was a good first job though, it was great. I never really wanted to work in food. It wasn't a thing that I was really interested in, so video store sounded fantastic. Some blush next. So yeah, that was a good first job, but some people, again, never had the experience of going to video store. And what was the sayings for some of them? So it was like video easy, movie guarantee, get it first time or get it free on the special ones. Like they had a couple that they would select as being part of that. And then was the Civic Video. I don't know if they had a thing. Then there was Blockbuster. Yeah, and is it Easy Video? Something else video? I don't know. I'm just going to use MAC blush. I think it's in Dame. And maybe Cute. Or something. I could be wrong, but essentially different shades of pinky peach. My favourite MAC blush ever is Pincho Peach. Best shade ever. But I purchased another one. It just doesn't look the same. It's not the same, it's not quite right. But yeah, the first one that I had was like the perfect balance of pink and peach. I'm just adding in another one, this one, to just change it. I'm going for a very peach look. Unintentional, but I like it. My conversation's jumping all over the place. It is like, oh, that one's too dark. It is like me in real life. I kind of am thinking of 1,000 things at the same time. And could be talking about one thing and then just a random thought pops up in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, that made sense. In my head, it like links together. This is going to be an incredibly long video. But it is what it is. Actually, that looks alright. That doesn't look too bad. Cool. Alright, next is lips. I'm going to use a MAC lip gloss. And I bought this one from Mecca Cosmetica, or just Mecca. I'm not sure what the difference is. Maxima. For my Australian viewers, you'll understand. It's like the miniature size, and it's great because I was never able to go through a full size, even though they're not cheap. These aren't very economical, these smaller sizes, the travel sizes, but I don't feel so bad buying them because that's actually a lot paler than I thought it was going to be. Well, I might have to mix it up with something, but I don't feel so bad because I think I have a chance of actually using the product. And I don't know if you can understand a word I'm saying. I used to love this shade. It was one of the first MAC colours that I purchased. This one and Nymphette, which I also still own in this travel size. And my lips are a bit dry. That's unfortunate. It's alright though. And highlighter. I guess I should use some highlighter. I'm just going to use the same brush that I used to put on my setting powder. Why not? It'll do. I'm just using Hourglass. I love the Hourglass like ambient things. The blushes, the highlighters. I mean, I don't go for like an incredibly bright highlighter, just a little bit. Let's put it up here, that's what the people do, isn't it? On the nose. I don't really do the whole highlighting thing that much. But this is just a nice little subtle highlight. I don't know if people still put highlight on their brows, but I will. I tend to put this one up higher to kind of fool the eye into thinking that this brow is actually high or higher than this one. And with this one, I will put it down a little lower, so it kind of draws the eye away from there. I don't know if it works. I don't know how well it works, but I feel like it does something. And at the end of the day, I can compensate by just turning my head slightly and tilting. Then you can't tell if anything's uneven or not. All right. I am going to get a bit of a darker lip colour and mix it in because that's still a bit light. And you can really see where the colour stops. Yeah, that's a bit too pale for what I was going for. Let me see what I can find and I will be back. So I found a lipstick that I think might work, and it's MAC's Cream Sheen Cross Wires. It's kind of like a darker pinky peach colour. Like a pinch. Yeah, that's making it work a bit better. Should do. Very good indeed. Oh, I've got lip gloss on my fingers. Now it's on the palm of my hand. Ugh, sticky. Alright, cool. Yep. It's rubbed away some of the concealer. I might do a little bit of spot concealing. I know that sounds weird to do it this late in the game, but I'm just gonna see if I can cover up just these little spots. Yeah, it seems to have done an okay job. Just here, this little nothing covers it up like drawing more attention to it. So, and where is my blush brush? Here. Blend it in. Yeah. Alright, cool, done. Whoop, just dropping everything. So professional. Alright, so thanks for sticking with me. I don't know how interesting that was for you. Hopefully, at the very least, you could just do your makeup along with me, or it was some background noise, so it felt like maybe there was somebody else there with you. Sometimes I watch videos and play them in the background for that reason too. But if you are interested in this kind of just talking about nothing, about everything, contemplating the world, contemplating everything, the important questions, the important issues that we've discussed today. But if it does interest you, I'll get better at it. I think it's literally the first time I've ever done a video like this, so I think it went okay. But we'll see. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, evening, afternoon, morning, whatever it is, wherever you are, and I will see you all in my next video.